Let me tell you, I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way. There's nothing but blue skies coming your way. I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way. Blue skies coming your way. Blue skies coming your way. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is weather. Weather. This is Dick Whitney bringing you the weather.
Always stacking bread. Always stacking bread. Always stacking bread. Always stacking bread.
This is Dick Whitman bringing you the weather. This is Dick Whitman bringing you the weather. And let me tell you, I'm happy to say there's nothing but blue skies coming your way. Blue skies. Blue skies. Coming your way.
It is Saturday, August 23rd, and you are watching a new episode of You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube Network. I am Bill Smith, and I am joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week?
Sports week has been all right. You know, I've grown used to the Panthers, as you probably heard on this channel, but I've also... Oh, nice cup, by the way. I wish I had filled my similar one. But yes, I like it. That was awesome. Yeah, Panthers still suck, but at least there's other stuff to watch. And we'll get into it. Yeah, we'll get into it. How about yourself?
How's it? We'll cover 3 topics here on You Don't Watch Sports, just to sprinkle that little bit of sports information into your casual conversation as we are your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Omari, topic number 1. The NFL is kicking off next week, so we thought it was the perfect time to get our crazy, we know nothing, way too early end of season award predictions. I want to hear about who you think is the best and worst teams in the regular season. Who is your MVP pick? Who is your Super Bowl? We're going to start with best and worst teams of the regular season. Omari, who do you have in the NFL?
Best and worst teams of the regular season. Well, there are easy picks on each conference based on the past few years, and this particular offseason has been a relatively quiet one from most part, from because with one of us covering it every week, we don't hear a lot about what's going on in the NFL. It's been kind of quiet. There's haven't been a lot of injuries, which is good, but there've been some moves and stuff, but I don't think a lot of those moves are gonna matter. I think the worst team in the league on AFC side, you have your easy people that you could go to, like your Jaguars or your Browns or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it easy and say the Jets are probably going to be the worst team in the AFC.
Let me throw you my worst team real quick. So I also was very close. I was struggling with choosing the Cleveland Browns because I just feel like they've already had such a tumultuous offseason, and then they're going into the season with this 4 quarterback nonsense. One of the four, including Shador Sanders, which is like a big question mark as far as NFL ability, let alone potential media circus kind of thing. We don't know what that will be until the season kicks off.
He looked good in the preseason against the Panthers.
I was trying to do some research to get into this topic to have some knowledge to back me up here. As viewers may know, I'm the NFL outsider here of the two of us, and I was looking at the New York Giants, currently listed on some NFL power rankings near the bottom, second to last, third to last, deep in those power rankings, as well as topping the list for for ESPN's NFL Strength of Schedule report for 2025. The New York Giants are currently slotted to play 10 2024 playoff teams in the regular season. The record, the 2024 record of the New York Giants opponents is 166 to 123. They have the hardest schedule by those metrics you could observe. So when I saw that, as well as them being so low in the power rankings, another team that is going into the season with a big fat question mark at their quarterback. I'm gonna pick the New York Giants.
So the Giants, you may have convinced me as far as the NFC side to say the Giants. I will say that I was unaware of that strength of schedule, and I'm sure people out there would be mad at me if I didn't at least mention the Panthers as a possible worst team in the NFC/league. So just to show I'm not biased, the Panthers are a good shoe in near the bottom as well. Because you want to talk about not knowing anything about your quarterback, there's the whole Bryce Young situation. But it's the put up or shut up year. I'm pretty sure. I think it's year 3 for him. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, as far as the best teams go, it's easy to say the Chiefs or the Eagles. Oh, damn, I don't want to go that hard. Or do I? No. The team has bad enough luck without me dooming them by jinxing them at the start of the season. I'm rooting for the Lions, but I don't think they're going to be the best team in the NFC. Because last year, with all the injuries and everything, and they still made it to the playoffs with like 3 losses going into that motherfucker. The kicking and streaming that the Lions... Fuck it! Sorry, Detroit. I root for you too much. The Detroit's going to surprise people this year. They're going to bounce back. They're like, no injuries this time, or at least less of them, because it's hard to go through an 18-game season with no injuries. Let's be honest. Less injuries. They're going on your teams this time. We gonna make it out of here. Blue big cat teams, let's go. I hope the Bears can bounce back, but I think they're just gonna be middle of the pack because the Bears, until I see something mid-season. Yeah, because I don't want to say Chiefs Eagles, though it seems like it's so obviously gonna still be those two.
Right. Yeah, the Eagles, I feel like the Eagles in particular, the Chiefs were always waiting for that downslide year. Patrick Mahomes, stat-wise, was showing that his talent, although still great in the league, is starting to decline. Travis Kelce has already been still great in the league, but your individual stats show that he has been trending downward already for a couple of years now. So you're always waiting for that moment where I don't know. I don't know if while those two are in the league together, the Kansas City Chiefs are ever average. But I think we'll eventually see a year where they're not in that elite class of the NFL.
True, but Mahomes is still pretty young, though, ain't he?
He is definitely still young,
Especially for a quarterback.
But I mean, but then also, I mean, factor in all of the extra games that motherfucker has played because of constantly being deep into the playoffs too.
But he's a quarterback. They play till 45.
Well, yeah, I know, but the skills, the trends still end up going downwards. Usually, you have your peaks. Your athletic peak usually ends up being around like 32 to 35. And I'm not sure where Patrick Mahomes is, but the stats last year flat out say that he was starting to decline. And it might have just been a bad year.
It could have been a bad year. They had lost some like receivers or some shit. Kelsey wasn't going up to snuff like he normally does. There was a lot that played into it, but I can see what you're talking about up and down. It's just with the company that they put him in, deservedly so based on his young resume. But with the company they put him in, those motherfuckers, they may have a off season, but they keep playing till their 40s and still be good, even with playoff success.
And listen, absolutely. I only said that he's like they might not be in the elite tier anymore. Like, so I don't want. My gut says I don't want to pick them for the best team in the league. I think this is the year that finally maybe a Buffalo Bills or a Baltimore Ravens takes that slot in the AFC.
I'm rooting for the Ravens in the AFC. But yeah, just to agree with you.
Because I am such a strong Ravens guy. I want to go with the Ravens in the AFC. NFC, if the Eagles is obviously the obvious choice, so I would like to pick my dark horse in that race to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sliding straight into my MVP guess of Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Okay. So we're guessing MVPs. Jackson won it last year, right?
That sounds correct.
Okay.
Because he just had that ridiculous running and throwing.
Yeah, like Lamar Jackson.
Like first 3 quarters of the season specifically.
Mm-hmm. Well, and with the season he had last year, he still didn't get it, Saquon Barkley. So they're not giving it to running backs anymore. It's the best quarterback in the league award. I'm only half bitching about it. Mm-hmm. But MVP, has there been a 3-time? Oh yeah, there has. There's been 12. I'm pretty sure he won it like 8 times. I could fuck it. Run it back, Lamar. Run it back. Actually, yeah, run it back because it's still the quarterback award. Run it back.
All right, leading to our Super Bowl predictions. Who do you got in the Super Bowl and who is winning it, Omari?
In the Super Bowl and who is winning it. So I said my best regular season teams just to be wildish out there and said the Lions and Ravens as far as regular season goes. 2 teams that have been great in recent regular seasons, not necessarily great in recent postseasons. Is this the year? I'm going to go ahead and say Ravens versus... I'm not going Lions. I can't. I think we got a bird battle, and it's Ravens Eagles. Cacaw is the law.
I like that. I like that Super Bowl. Despite what I just said about the regular season, my gut also wants to just say that like nothing changes and the NFL runs it completely back and it's a Philadelphia Kansas City Super Bowl again.
Remember, regardless of how they do in the regular season, when the game's on the line and shit matters, generally
Perfect football.
perfect
Mistake-free
mistake-free football is the Chiefs' game. So that's always a case that may pop up again in the postseason.
I was gonna say your call. So just to tweak it, I'm gonna ride with my MVP choice and say that it's going to be Baltimore versus Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. A Super Bowl that almost nobody wants to watch except for Baltimore and Tampa Bay.
Baltimore's at least a team that's won a couple Super Bowls. So they're
Right.
at least zeitgeist enough with the Lamar Jackson thing.
And Tampa has too. It's got the whole Brady effect. Not to mention it's won Super Bowl appearance before Brady.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking when it comes to the casual thing, that was the Brady effect, as you said, when it came to the recent thing. But they were also known as Skip Bayless likes to point out, for the longest they were known as the Succaneers. There's never been a Succaneer equivalent for Baltimore, unless you're from their division or something.
All right, Omar, let's move to topic number 2, where AEW is holding Forbidden Door tomorrow in London. And we're going to run through the matches here. I want to hear your thoughts. We got some really awesome matches, and then we got a few AEW Women's World Championship, the timeless one, Toni Storm, is going against Athena. Athena still Ring of Honor champion. This is not a belt for belt. This is just for the AEW Women's World title in result of Athena winning the gauntlet match at AEW All In.
To win the gauntlet match, only to have something that looks so obviously like you're not going to win the championship.
Yeah, the build as well has felt like this is not your championship.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I want Athena to win this. I like to, obviously everybody on this channel likes Timeless Toni Storm before the fans go all crazy. But I want Athena to win this because I've been a fan of her since she was called Ember Moon.
Yep.
But I do think Toni wins this.
I do as well. AEW Unified Championship. This one's interesting because they just had Okada beat Kenny Omega, and kind of create this title, and this is one of his first. It's his first big defense, if not his very first defense. I can't think if he's had something on Collision or Dynamite yet.
A hell of an opponent.
Very interesting matchup here. I feel like Swerve would win because he's kind of been getting he's gotten a little bit of the shit end of the stick singles wise since he lost his world title. This is a former AEW world champion, which Kazuchika Okada cannot hold. What do you think?
I think they give it to Swerve because, yes, Okada put it together, but he also had that belt for a long time before he unified it. So it's not like, he unified it and then immediately lost once he fought a real opponent. No, he had it for a fucking long ass time, didn't he? Before they unified the things. And so it's he's had that. So it's still technically the same reign. And you can give it to Swerve, put more immediate credibility on this unified championship, have him defend some stuff, keep him distracted from the main title picture for a bit. Everything's okay.
Yep. All right, I like that. Let's go with what I would say is one of two of the actual only Forbidden Door matches on this Forbidden Door pay-per-view. The TNT Championship is being defended by Kyle Fletcher against Hiromu Takahashi. I would assume Kyle Fletcher just won this. not to talk shit here, but as much as the tribalism, we'll talk about how WWE guys just go to these places and take their belts or win all the time, and it's kind of one-sided whenever they do match up with a promotion. Nobody really talks about that over here, but as a casual observer, that's what I tend to witness. I think Kyle Fletcher is going to go over on this one. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Omari. Well, no, I'd say we got three.
I think we're good.
We got three matches. I would say. I don't even think the steel cage counts, because that's one guy out of
50.
10. IWGP Heavyweight Championship. But see, the problem, the reason why I wasn't counting this is I understand that folks love Nigel McGuinness. I understand that Nigel McGuinness has a giant Ring of Honor classic reputation and history, and people love him. But this is Japan's largest title, and he is a commentator. That feels weird.
Well, see,
Like, why isn't this?
there's your argument. There's your counter argument to the one-sided nature. We split even. The guy who has the TNT championship, where the whole idea is it's to be defended on the weekly show, is fighting the other dude who, you know, not that he can't travel, but probably doesn't want to travel to US every week for the thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like Kyle Fletcher's obviously keeping the title in AEW, and I feel like what's his name, Kyle Saber Jr. or whatever his name is,
Zack Sabre
Jr. is going to keep the IGWP with them, so they kind of split even and look equally strong or whatever.
Yeah,
As opposed to WWE, where they just go, our guys win all the time.
Right, I
If I'm
can
being
see
the
that.
devil's advocate to your previous tribalism point.
Right. But WWE would do something potentially very similar. But like the WWE model of this would be two lower card guys fighting each other, and they let WCW or whoever, TNA or AAA, they'll let the other promotion win the lower card match.
Yeah.
Like this has their world champion in a match against a highly established veteran, but a guy who has had 3 matches in like 6 years and is actively a commentator. Like you have Daniel Garcia.
He's got old dude in his corner.
Pictured in the poster to be ringside with him. I would be much more comfortable with this just being a Daniel Garcia match.
Actually, so would I.
And Daniel Garcia can lose to the IWGP champion, Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. has a gigantic reputation globally.
He has a bigger reputation than fucking McGuinness. He's supposed to be like the best. The best that we can't talk about because he won't go to WWE.
And maybe my issue here is that this has been exclusively a very small Collision build, and they have literally never talked about it on Dynamite, barely even addressed it. And I'm more of a Dynamite watcher and a clips of Collision guy, just because there's only so much time in the world.
I mean, when I watch faithfully, I'm more of a Raw than a SmackDown, and also more of a Dynamite.
Yeah, so like the match on the poster feels weird to me, but maybe it's cool. All right, let's talk about Rated R superstar Adam Copeland teaming with Christian Cage. He will be fighting Christian Cage's old family. Nick Wayne will not be participating in this match despite advertised he has an injury, and thus they have bumped up the return of Luchasaurus.
That's why it says Lucha on there. Okay.
Yes, that's why I wrote Lucha on there. So I mean, obviously, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage win this match.
Yeah,
Like, that's not.
I mean, Adam doesn't lose Cope about it. Like, that's what I've noticed with AEW. Adam Copeland, that man he's on his real Canadian stuff.
Real Canadian stuff.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I got Adam Copeland. I'm about to say.
All right. Well, what feels like the proper for like the TNT Championship match and this match here feel like the proper Forbidden Door matches for me. TBS Championship 4-way. You have Mercedes Moné, who just picked up her ninth title at an independent promotion over the weekend. Will be facing a wrestler from CMLL, a wrestler from Stardom, as well as Alex Windsor. What do you think here, Omari? I mean, obviously, I think this is like, I don't know when this train stops.
And I don't think it's today.
Like, she lost to Tony, but
she didn't lose
other
any of her
than
belts
that,
doing that.
She didn't lose any of her belts doing that, and I believe she's lost one other women's belt by not being pinned. She participated in a multi-man at an independent promotion where she had already gained one of the belts. I want to say the British Strong. Mm-hmm. Actually, Mina Shirakawa ended up winning that belt off of Moné in a multi-man match where Moné was not pinned. But I believe Tony is the only person to have pinned / submitted. She didn't submit, but Moné, and I don't know when it ends.
She's so close to this number. I would have never thought to do this until I saw the recent headline, but she's so close to an even 10 championships, which I don't know how many, if anybody, has decided to go that far before. And with her losing to Tony and failing to get that, I could see her winning this and going for 10 out of 10, trying to beat Tony Storm in a run back. Because we're assuming Tony's winning tonight.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, if they rematch, I feel like it's her.
Yeah.
I feel like...
And then she gets to 10.
Winning.
That's ridiculous. And then, like, she starts losing them.
They just slowly start to crumble away.
Yeah. Because she gets to 10, we get the headlight, we get the mystery... Not the mystery.
Have we talked about it? Other than Tony, who's already done the defeat, like who's going to be the one that stops the Moné train?
I don't know. In all honesty, we thought it would start with the Tony thing, and then she comes back with like 9. I think we said it starts there. Or we start
we could see that, like, that could be a good start for a crumbling.
Yeah,
where suddenly all the independent ones start to fall away, and then she only has the TBS title, and then like because I'm thinking your contenders are Athena, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale.
Those are very good contenders. I wish I could include another one, but she hadn't been on TV for the longest from what I can tell. But yes, Statlander ended the Jade run, so she's a good contender. Athena, if they want to move her on to the main roster, like maybe what's her name beats, Athena loses this, but she still has her title or whatever. Eventually, while she eventually works her way to, lack of a better phrase, main roster, they do this whole Moné gets her 10th. Look at me. Aha, I'm the historic. And then Athena takes her down to establish herself immediately. Like, bam, I'm the Queen Slayer, for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. I cashed that check. Yo, bank account's empty. CEO? More like no mo. Go away.
The AEW Men's World Tag Team Championships, Omari. This is a little bit of an interesting one. One, the match between FTR and Brodito went to a 30-minute time limit draw, so it will now be a triple threat match. This could just be internet rumor mill churning intentionally to make people question what could happen in this match. But the word on the street is that AEW really, really wants a FTR versus Adam Copeland Christian Cage title or feud with a title involved.
I can see that.
However, there are very WWE-esque rumors out there about how one Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP are walking around backstage like, ain't nobody beating us. Ain't nobody beating us. You can try, but it ain't happening. So it just like when the story came out like 2 days ago or something, it felt very generated for interest in the match and not so much like actual rumors of like AEW infighting and Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley are being all that ain't gonna work for me, brother, backstage at AEW throwing around their WWE weight or whatever.
Real African Americans.
But I'm not buying it. I think it might just be to just drum up some interest in this match, and whether FTR pins Brodito and does take the titles, or whether Hurt Syndicate continues to just kind of fucking dominate this division
and pins Brodito to keep the titles.
Either way, I think it's gonna be a cool match.
King. Okay. Brodito. I was trying to figure where the bro came from.
Yeah, Bandito and Brody King.
Yeah.
But I will pick that the titles change hands here to FTR.
I'm gonna stick with the Hurt Syndicate because they hurt people, and for no other reason than to be contradictory.
All right, lights out steel cage match, Omari. This one is bonkers to me. 10 people inside of one ring with a cage right up against the walls of the ring. Just feels like too many people in a cage.
Yeah, it's not even like a War Games 2 cage setup.
It just feels like way too many people in a cage. There is this side info of Will Ospreay came out on Dynamite this past week and basically implied that he's going to need neck surgery, but that the doctors have allowed him to do this one last match before they put him on the shelf for a while. And that one last match is going to be a 10-person lights out steel cage match
with fucking Mox and Allen in it.
And also and just side note, obviously, the best for Will Ospreay going into a neck surgery this young in his career is crazy. Yeah. If that's what's going on. And one of the best wrestlers in ring right now, so hope he returns quickly if this is not a work in some way. But the promo seemed like if it is a work, it's going to end up being on one of those like salmon jacket promo things if there's some sort of big twist or turn involved with this. But I think it is just like, hey, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do my best in this match, and then I got a lot of fucking problems that I'm gonna need to back away for a while to fix, kind of thing. So I think they'll even do a further injury angle here in this match, since he kind of already gave that goodbye
It's a good sign off. It's a good way to buff some heel up by being, oh, they worsened his thing and really put him on the shelf for months. So
Yeah.
he already has a few built in for when he comes back. Yeah. Personally, I think he should have given the speech after the match. But then again, if it really is a terrible neck surgery, let's say it is a legit, like, oh, I'm doing this, but I'm doing one more match and I'm going crazy, and the worst happens. I'm not asking for the worst to happen. That's why I'm calling it the worst. Then at least he's already had his moment where he could talk to the people
Yeah.
about this.
That's what I'm feeling there. And because of that, I'm leaning bad guys here, and also additionally, like I'm not a long-term viewer enough to know how the patterns necessarily work in AEW, but like your typical wrestling pattern here would be for the bad guys to win this group match here, so that then the good guys could win all the individual matches that fall out afterwards. That would kind of be a little bit of the typical pattern.
Yeah.
This isn't real. This is kind of still the start. Like, you still have to do the Jon Moxley Darby Allin match. But the good guys are the ones that have the true like guest star in Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Gabe Kidd, which is why I barely even consider this a Forbidden Door match, because Gabe Kidd has been wrestling for AEW for a while now, on many shows, Dynamites, pay-per-views. So I'm not so sure if Gabe Kidd qualifies here as a guest star. Hiroshi Tanahashi is the legend guest star. He is the crossover for Forbidden Door, essentially, in this pay-per-view. So it seems like that is an equation for the good guys to win.
Yeah. AEW, I've always stated, like, yes, they're real wrestling and all that stuff. They do follow patterns and all of that. But they also, I've always said the main difference between AEW and WWE is the philosophy of, do they want to send the people home angry or happy? So that would be the only reason I'd see the good guys winning, is because it feels like, yeah, it's AEW. The good guys, this is a big event, Forbidden Door. Let's send the folks home with the, oh, did you see the way they came back and won against the Death Riders? But I do think with the Ospreay injury angle / reality, with it being everything you stated about wrestling rules, I do think the bad guys take this one.
Alrighty. Let's do the final thing we'll talk about: AEW World Championship. Hangman Adam Page versus MJF. We had some advancements this week on Dynamite, where MJF got some added stipulations put onto this match by threatening to burn Mark Briscoe alive. Had Mark Briscoe tied to a chair and was threatening to soak him in gasoline and set him afire if Hangman Adam Page did not agree to. MJF can win the title in a disqualification. MJF can win the title in a countout. MJF does not have to use his Casino Gauntlet contract for this match.
Okay.
I think all of that was added on
got the
for
match to begin with,
correct.
and then he added it as a stipulation
That he gets to reverse that, and it's just a match, and he gets to still keep his gauntlet contract. So I think obviously that means Hangman Adam Page is winning here tonight, despite all those added stipulations, because MJF still has the contract in his back pocket. I guess, is it a question of, do they do it Money in the Bank style, where he then immediately, like,
Cashes
is there a
in
situation?
after Hangman
Yeah.
wins.
Is there a situation where he immediately declares a second match and wins that one in the same event? I mean, obviously, Hangman, you don't want to pull your title off of Hangman right after he wanted it all in, but MJF is a known gigantic commodity for you.
Yes. Well, they're both gigantic commodities for them at this
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
I like the idea of what you said, Page winning because he's not cashing in his thing just yet. But I also was trying to think about the idea of MJF winning this, you know, having it, and then the second he does lose, he immediately give me my fucking title back just to get that extra. God, man, we thought we were done. You know, he's a heel. It's the only reason I'm saying that, people. I'm not going like, I don't like MJF on my screen.
But if he's doing his job right, he builds up the idea of somebody taking it away from him.
Yeah.
I like that too. And as I've vocalized before, you know this, with the right people, I am pro hot potatoing a belt.
Yes.
I am pro that. I think we have too many too long title reigns, and we should have more feuds where people exchange a title back and forth 2 times. I think that is cool.
We are getting to the point where everybody has a title for a year, and it's now not as...
Or at least like 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like the minimum, is like you have to have it for 3 defenses and a month. Which is fine. I mean, those are like the short reigns now, but those are the reigns where it's like, we needed to give you a singles title and now you'll never be here again, kind of thing. I want to see 2 established guys who the audience knows both of them are incredibly credible champions, and one wins one and wins the title, and then they do a pay-per-view, run back the next one, and the other guy wins the title, and then they hop it right back.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see that kind of program. It doesn't happen anymore.
Because that's how you lead to people who are like 5 to 10 years later, like,
14-time champions.
I'm a 14-time champion, and then the other person's like, hey, I've got like 9 belts. And I'm doing shit and it's like both are realistic because, hey, we see these people go back and forth. Like Sasha, like to your point of like hot potatoing it, the Sasha Charlotte thing pretty much established both of them. Like, they were taking the title from each other, but they were taking it from each other. Like, oh yeah, no one else could beat them for it, but you know, whatever. Bottom line is, I agree.
I agree. Yep. All right, it's a supersized You Don't Watch Sports this week. We're still going. We got a 3rd seed. It is the EWC, Omari.
Yes.
Give us an update on that. You touched on it last week, and you got some news for us.
Yes, the Esports World Cup going on today as we speak. I believe at the moment we have Street Fighter going on. Other games have gone on over here, so hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line at this EWC in Saudi Arabia. People have had to win other majors just to qualify for this, or win a last chance qualifier event in Saudi Arabia for this. So last week I talked about Tekken. I said that Ulsan or Chikarin were probably the main favorites to win that one based on who was left. Ulsan won $250,000 in Tekken last week, beating Lowhigh, who I didn't have in the finals, 5-2. I did mention John Ding, and I mentioned that Arslan Ash and Need, the main favorites, weren't in the top 8. They weren't in the top 8 because John Ding was the one who eliminated them. But much like I said, he ended up going out, I think, at like 3rd or 4th. Meanwhile, like I said, Street Fighter 6 is going on right now, and some of the storylines going on through it. Punk. Speaking of the top 2 people that be winning the Evos and stuff in your sport already being out, Punk the God, a.k.a. who named himself after CM Punk, by the way. He's out. He lost. He had 2 big losses. One where he lost the one that obviously eliminated him, but also he lost to Zhao Hai in a match where final round, very low health. Person has like, you know, good chunk. Zhao Hai has a good chunk of health. Punk, good defense, combo, into super, critical art, it gets extra damage. He gets up like, yes, the cinematic of the super's going off. And boop, just the pixel of health left on Zhao Hai's life bar. Punk has to run back to his controller. Gets there in time to block, but loses the next interaction, and Zhao Hai moves on in the tournament. People start mocking Punk because it is a thing that everyone's like, what are you standing up for? Blah, blah, blah. There's a couple famous players whose careers I feel like ended after they've had moments like these, but they weren't they weren't like people that won Evo the year before.
Right.
But nonetheless, meanwhile, other stories from this top 16 and what's going on right now, because it's single elimination first to 5 in this set after the group stages once you get to top 16. Minna RD, the two-time Evo Japan winner, the most recent Evo winner, and two-time Capcom Cup winner, pretty much established himself at Evo as the GOAT of Street Fighter 6, immediately loses in top 16 to Ending Walker 5-0. Street Fighter 6 is a volatile game. Like, and that's not to anything against Ending Walker. He's a young kid on the rise. He's been showing up in a lot of top 16s, top 8s himself.
Nice.
But I wanted to touch on Goichi, or Go1, who won Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves at EWC this year. He won it again. He won 300K from that. He stands the chance to win the most money out of anybody this weekend. With having already won 300K, if he wins this, that's another 250K that he's winning. That doesn't happen a lot in the fighting game community. Zhao Hai got second place. The guy that beat Punk, he got second place in City of the Wolves. He was the clear favorite to win that one, but he got second to Goichi. He got 155K, but he's also still in this top 8, and he only lost that final set 5-3. And having both beat their top 16 round opponents, both moving on to top 8, Goichi and Zhao Hai are facing each other again, running it back. And Zhao Hai even already had the interview going, I'm out for blood. He took away my possibility of winning 2 games at EWC, so I'm doing the same to him. So he's swearing vengeance. That's happening today. And background on those two, aside from just, oh, these are good players. Goichi, legend in what we know in the FGC as poverty games, quote unquote, which with the FGC not making a lot of money, it's crazy that we would have something that's even more called a poverty game. But stuff like indie games like Melty Blood, I'm not sure if you heard of that. Stuff of that thing where people used to joke about them having to run their tournaments in the bathrooms because there weren't enough rooms on the main floor for a setup. Goichi's been a legend of games like that forever. He started to get more and more mainstream FGC and stuff around Dragon Ball Fighters. Like there was a big thing that Evo with him versus Sonic Fox in grand finals where they're like, yeah, people said they only are good at their games because they play games nobody plays. This is a 7,000 person tournament now. The most part that year it had the highest attendance, and Sonic Fox and Goichi were the grand finalists in that. So Goichi,
so he's just playing it for the love of the game.
He is, but he's finally getting the results and the money. You know, kind of like you put in this investment. You've been playing for the love of the game for all these years, and now he's actually getting rewarded for it.
Nice.
Meanwhile, Zhao Hai is Mr. K. Well, I can't say he's Mr. KOF because there's a player with that title, but you know what I mean. He's Mr. KOF. He's been playing King of Fighters games since he was a little kid, which is what his name translates to. I'm pretty sure you can relate to something like that. People just giving you a nickname of the kid while you're a kid and it's sticking with you for a bit. That was pretty much him, and now he's in his late 30s. He's won 5 Evos for King of Fighters or SNK related games. That's why he was a shoe. That's why he was assumed to be the shoe-in for City of the Wolves here, and he got second place. He's been talking shit to Punk, which added other stuff to that. But now he's also trying to prove he can be that multi-game specialist. But I have some names up here. I've done this with previous tournaments with you. Oh yeah, by the way, fun fact of this, I think I showed you at this tournament, when you lose and get eliminated, your opponent fucking breaks your trophy that you
that's
won
awesome.
with
That's awesome.
the
You showed me
hydraulic
that.
press. I got some names here. I've asked you before who you think is gonna win. You might have recognized some of these. But what do you think?
I mean, it's hard. I love the love of the game story that I started vibing out with Goichi. So it's hard to not lend there. Looking at this field of players, obviously we got no Americans for me to find some support there.
Mena was the closest at DR.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you have Mena. I didn't realize that flag was Dominican Republic, but he is already out. So you have Britain, which you could maybe argue is at least I would understand them speaking. So there's that end of things. Something about the W Fudo calls to me. I don't know. I don't know
the guy from that meme picture I showed you earlier.
Okay.
The Harry Potter looking dude that married the girl from the meme picture and has won Evo.
I like that name. I like that word, and the back-to-back U's and so I'm gonna back him randomly.
Awesome. Hey, that's a good choice. He's, like I said, former Evo champion. He is going against another Evo champion in Bonchan, but they both are Evo champions for other games or other Street Fighter games. Also, I'm pretty sure Fudo was a Virtua Fighter player before then, so he's been around too. And I also know the origin. Would you like to know the origin of Fudo's name?
Sure.
So apparently, like in Japanese, like F and H, it's a very similar sound when you're trying to speak like another thing. He always wore hoodies to tournaments, and before people knew his name, so they started calling him like the guy with the hoodie or hoodie kid or whatever, or hood or food. No, and so he's named after the fucking hoodies and shit like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the dude that they were like, man, gotta watch out for that dude with the hoodie. He's ridiculous. And I always love it when you have players where it's like, where did you get that name? Well, you see, people were just talking like, hey, I don't know his name, but this dude, crazy. Like Tampa Bison or PR Balrog. I don't know that Puerto Rican Balrog player. He's ridiculous. That Puerto Rican Balrog? And so you just like, fuck it, I'm PR Balrog.
The face guy.
The face guy, Koji Kong.
I was talking about that guy that walks around with his face on everything.
Oh, the face guy. Fair. Got it. Hey, I'd rather be the face guy than the trench coat guy.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's also the trench. It's the trench coat
It
guy
was
as
for
well.
a while. I had to retire the trench coat once, America started being a little too American. And when I came off an elevator and it opened up, and the reaction from the guy waiting for the elevator was, "Oh shit, it's the trench coat guy." Okay, maybe I should stop wearing the trench coat.
All right.
I had
Fair
already
enough.
had my moment where somebody recognized me as a positive thing. Oh, it's the trench coat guy. So I've had both. I'm good. The trench coat can retire. It's hot
All right,
in Florida
all right.
Anyway, yeah. So that's going on right now. Check it out. There's probably been some updates as we've been streaming. Check it out. It's on Capcom Fighters streams on either YouTube or Twitch, as well as I'm sure Esports World Cup has their own channels as well.
All right. Check it out. That has been our 3 topics here on this XL size You Don't Watch Sports. If you like hearing us talk about random stuff, you can see that all over this channel. At This Guy Hasn't Seen. We got some mock draft episodes up there. We obviously have this show, You Don't Watch Sports, as well as backlogs of whatever we want with friend of the channel, Super Jazz.
super jazz.
And you got Omari playing video games and going through One Piece lore, all kinds of fantastic stuff here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. Where else can they find you on the internet, Omari?
You can also find me playing said games like Street Fighter and whatnot on Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Yeah, I'm streaming Earth Day 240. You know what that means, and I think that's all we got to say. Bill, anything you want to say to send us out?
Nope.
All right. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week. Football season's coming up. I'm excited. Adiosness.